I'm Jeremy Bailey, Senior Consultant at GreenBlue Urban. We're a global company. Just a bit of background here. So I travel the world, meeting with fantastic people, like everybody in this room, really trying to create sustainable infrastructure at the top level. And as Dick mentioned about kind of the treatment train and the different units of the treatment train, including the engine, cars, and the caboose, in a sense, we're maybe in some senses the caboose. We're at the bottom of the treatment train. But we really focus on sustainable infrastructure as well, as it notes in this slide right here. So we want to understand all of the parts of the treatment train. You understand the effects of the treatment train. You understand the components of the treatment train. You understand the design of the treatment train. These are the key fundamental areas that we look at. And this is actually a picture that's kind of maybe associated with the green section, but we see here the key components at the lower area of the treatment train, which is the trees. And the values of trees is something we're starting to see at many, many different levels. And what we see here, this picture was actually taken in Copenhagen, Denmark. And you can see here, not a lot of green roof happening here, sadly. But we've got some foliage here on the building, and then we've got these trees at the bottom, which are actually included in the base area of controlling stormwater. We can see the river in that same space. So we start understanding what the values are. We look at this next slide here, which I took in New York City. Anybody here been to New York City by chance? Yeah. This is some of their tree planting areas. This is a challenge. We're working with different areas in New York City. And this is a picture I took in the beginning of December. And what we see here is very interesting because there's a light rainfall the night before, and the surrounding concrete has taken up the stormwater benefit, in a sense, taken up stormwater, yet the tree planting zone has not. So this starts helping us understand the different types of systems and the different designs that are associated with those different areas, including green roofs, green walls, and tree planting systems to provide that effect. If you look at actually what's below ground, you see something like what we see right here. We see root systems. And the benefit of root systems, which I'm sure some of us understand, is something we haven't really engaged quite yet. I've got a couple of documents here later on that are going to prove this. But this is an average root system that we see in a forest-like condition if we put it in a proper system below ground. Massive amount of root systems. Now there's different ways of getting stormwater within that same system and using it. So the understanding is, what's our design, what's the restrictions, i.e. utilities or something else, and what can we create below in that same space. So then we look at something like what we see here. This is actually a system that's what I brought over from overseas, the slides from overseas. It helps us understand what we call an arbor flow system. An arbor flow system is taking stormwater from the surface and bringing it below ground and infiltrating it in that same space into this area here to be used for root takeout. Now there's a massive amount of root takeout of stormwater. Some of these root systems, large trees can take 50 gallons of stormwater per day in root takeout. They can also reduce the nutrients, the hydrocarbons in that same space. There's a lot of benefits here. So this is part of the treatment train. If we're actually, as we mentioned, as Brian mentioned, increasing nutrients as they're going out of the green roof systems, we can reduce them right here as well as part of that same treatment train. Now in saying that, we also look at the above areas of the tree and the canopy, the benefits above ground. And this picture, again, really helps us understand that. We can see here we've got some rainfall, but look around this tree. What do we see? We see an open space. Think of the canopy collection of stormwater here with the benefit of these trees. Again, part of the treatment train. So we've got what's below ground as the system, and then we've got the tree in itself that's benefits this canopy collection of stormwater. And we've got the benefits of this tree in utilizing that same stormwater for evapotranspiration within that space and the cooling effects. So this is where we start understanding the massive benefits of the whole treatment train, not just the green roof, not just the green wall, but also the tree planting as that whole train in one functional space. So now when we're looking below ground, I just want to kind of highlight this slide here. This slide kind of helps us understand different ways of bringing the stormwater into the system. I've got an animation coming up that shows this. But we can use pervious surfaces, as one mentioned. In the southern climates where they don't have a lot of salt for de-icing, we can bring it in from a catch basin, which is kind of shown on the edge of the slide there. It could be from a downspout from a roof. It could be from a linear drain on the back of the curb. There's all different ways of bringing stormwater within this space and utilizing it for root takeout in those areas. So we don't have to kind of think small, we can think big and push the challenges forward in these types of systems. Now, I just want to show you an animation here of how this actually functions and works. Hopefully this has a media player on it. It doesn't look like it does, so we'll skip to the next. Sorry, I'm just going to back up slide. So this system here, I'll just give it kind of a quick detailed explanation of this, is what we call the overflow system here in a parking lot. So this is taking up 10 parking spaces in the lanes going for them, which is about 2,500 square feet of non-pervious surface. Or if there's anybody here in the metric system, it's about 2,500 square meters of surface. Directing it to one tree, through different stage filtration systems, we're reducing either the salt loads or the nutrient loads or the sediment loads before it goes into the soil profile, which in turn turns into a third or fourth stage filter. This is where the world's going. As you see, this is how we do this place all around the world. And this is what's going to help us understand to remove the total solids, total suspended solids, the total phosphorus, and the total nutrients at the same time. And this is just a bit of a document here on one of the projects we did. It's actually in Australia, in Brisbane, on the results of the testing between standard targets, a bioswale application, and a tree planting area. One of the challenges we see is, of course, real estate. How much space can we actually take out of pedestrian areas or plazas and use it for applications like bioswales or other areas? So this is how a tree, for instance, is in a small area of real estate if we have all the system below ground. What we can see here is the difference. The top one is our actual target. The second line here in the middle of green is our base case for the application of a bioswale. And our third application here is a test case in tree planting. And we can see the massive amount of increase and actual reduction of total suspended solids, total phosphorus, total nutrients in that same space. We start seeing the value of including all these components in the treatment train to get the benefits that you want to associate in removing all those different components. Now, as I mentioned, there's different ways to bring it in. We can manufacture something like what we see here in the city of Toronto, and taking this whole area of stormwater, putting it into a linear drain and bringing it back into the application. It could be like this project right here, where it's a combination of a few different applications, pervious surfaces, and a linear drain like what we have here. Or it could be what we see right here with an application like a catch basin, where it brings it in the ground and actually disperses it horizontally. So what Dick mentioned is runoff application, or it could be more of a bioswale application here, where we're bringing it into a parking lot, reducing the energy, and dispersing it in the same areas. So depending on how much space we design, and what is the application, and the actual volume of water going into it. And we can look at quantity, and we can look at quality, or we can look at a combination of both. These are key factors. The one thing we want to consider is maintenance, of course, in all these different applications. So in some conditions where they have high salt content, for like we probably have here in DC or in the northern climates, we want to make sure that these areas are not getting polluted during the winter months. It's very, very critical. We have systems like what we see here at the curb flow that can actually shut down and prevent this type of damage into those areas during the winter months as well. So understanding all the facets of this is very critical to making sure what we classify as sustainable infrastructure in the treatment train happen with these areas. Now this is just a quick project I want to kind of highlight. It's actually in northern Canada. As we say, it's actually not too far north. It's in Thunder Bay. It gets very cold there, so they get about frost about 6 feet down. I don't know if anybody's traveled that area. Beautiful space. But this project here is a system what they use as a combination of a tree planting system and stormwater at the same time. So this is a cross section of the area, and this lower area here is actually being utilized under the parking lot area as a infiltration trench. And then you can see the pipes that are sticking out here. These pipes are actually infiltrating into this area here, which is an island. So tree planting here and here, going into each of those areas and being used for root takeout. So the center portion here is going to be soil, this area here, and the area on the other side is underneath the parking lot with a pervious surface to allow for infiltration, and that moves through the soil profile and then utilized for root takeout. So when we're utilizing the system, we can create pretty much anything. The question is when, where, what are we targeting? Is it quantity, is it quality, or what are the other facets that we need to include? Myself here, being someone that travels the world, and meeting fantastic people like yourselves. Very interested to see. Everybody has their challenges. Everybody has their challenges with the roots, the walls, and tree planting systems around the world, and a lot of these things overlap. So understanding what our actual targets are, as Brian mentioned, is very key to understanding what systems work best and where they need to be positioned within that same space. That's my last slide. Short and sweet. Hope it's all right. Thank you.